The main thing I want to talk about and give attention to is all the latest news, or lack thereof, regarding Pixel. I'll start by saying I don't have any official communication from the paper mill that any of you don't have. What I will say is that close to 60 days ago, April 15th, we received communication from Pixel that they had issued what's called a WARN notice, W-A-R-N. A WARN notice is required when there's layoffs impacting more than 100 employees in the state of Ohio. That 60 days would expire this Friday or Saturday. That WARN notice has not been retracted. I think everybody recalls Good Friday, a rally down on 8th Street, and some hope that the paper mill would stay open through the end of the year. It is not my expectation the paper mill will stay open through the end of the year. I would expect that we would have an update on that news this week, but I am not optimistic that we will be operating a paper mill in this community through the end of the year. On that front, I just want to give some updates on what has been happening largely behind the scenes so that the community can be reassured at the very least that there are efforts related to first and foremost, those employees and families that work and are impacted by the paper mill today and in the future, and then what the future of the facility looks like to the extent that I know that today. So, on the employee, job, employment, and support front, local community groups, including but not limited to the Chamber of Commerce, the County Commissioners, Chillicothe County Public Library, United Way, Ohio University, and of course the city, Jobs Ohio, have teamed together to do a variety of things. First and foremost, there's a new website launched called Scioto Valley Forward, sciotovalleyforward.com. That will be the hub for new and official information, particularly when it comes to employment and support for individuals employed at that facility. The library has already opened, as of today I believe, a resource center which will be open in the main library annex from noon to 4, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with the goal of supporting individuals who are looking at job application support, job readiness support, that sort of thing. There will be a job fair at the university on June 25th. More information can be found on that website. But the idea is, and the challenge is for all of us, doing many things at once and putting all of our energy into all of those things. So one thing is preparing for the worst. If the paper mill closes, there are 800 people, employees, who will be displaced. And how do we support them and their families, when it comes to immediate needs, whether that's unemployment, whether that's food, whether that's health care. And then, in the meantime, thinking about if displacement is coming. We have very, very talented people at that paper mill, and how do we position them to best find good gainful employment from that point forward. The catch-22 there is, if there's a max exodus from the paper mill, then when potential purchasers, which is an ongoing thing, is people visiting the paper mill, inquiring about purchase of the facility, it's nice to be able to say you've got a great workforce there and they're continuing to work and they'll be there if somebody else comes along. And so that presents a challenge. But so on the employment front, that is a significant and coordinated effort. That second front that I mentioned is something that has been largely led by Jobs Ohio in coordination and cooperation with Pixel to essentially identify and court potential purchasers who in particular might be able to use the facility in a similar manner, right? Because it is a paper mill, it uses resources. It's the reason it's here, things like timber, and finding a purchaser who could do something similar to what we already have is an ideal situation. So that effort, regardless of if the paper mill closes in 30, 60, 90, 120 days, whatever it might be, that effort continues. So two things are happening at once. And then the third thing is thinking through, if a purchaser doesn't come along in the meantime and keep some sort of operation going, what that plan C looks like. And talking through, we can all picture industrial sites in various parts of the country who have gone abandoned and not repurposed in a fast fashion. And so there's significant time and energy going into what repurposing could look like. Of course, you have a private owner who owns a thing, and in order to repurpose has to be cooperative in that effort, right? So there are situations where a company can go, let's say, for example, I'm not implying this, but a company goes bankrupt, walks away, a facility lays dormant. That's a situation we would love to avoid. I don't think there's a scenario where this company is going bankrupt, but controlling and having an impact on the future of the site as a local community is something that's very important, I think, to all of us. To that end, the Ross County Commissioners, who are in the middle of their comprehensive plan, are going to focus some of their time and attention within that comprehensive plan and the efforts that they are doing around economic development, looking at that area of the city to think about what repurposing could and should look like if we got to that point. It is a challenging place to be, because I think the best case scenario, we would all agree, is that the paper mill stays open, it flourishes, we reinvest in it, and it's a great scenario. But we have to be diligent and attack all fronts. And so I would say that the coordination and the support that I'm seeing from every level, from the federal government, the state government, Jobs Ohio, to the local level, county commissioner, city, chamber, everybody involved, you name it, everybody's going in the same direction. Communication has been open, nobody is being territorial, and so in a bad situation, I can point to that as something positive, because I think that that leads to our best outcome. I wish I had more concrete information to share. It's a challenging position to be in, to not be able to share or to be able to tell the community what's happening, and frankly, the reason for that is we just don't know. Even the structure of the ownership of the facility, which is, you know, a local company, or one company owned and operated by somebody else out of state, also presents challenges. And so we are doing our best. The lines of communication are open with those two entities, Pixel and HIG, and we're doing our best to keep those lines of communication open and cordial. And I would say that despite the negative situation, that those conversations have been open, and we believe productive and honest as possible. And so I'll commit to communicating the best I can, both to council and to the public, what I know and what our efforts are, and we will stay in this thing together and pull through on the other side. Thank you, President Chair.
I will just add to that there has been a lot of activity that's been going on relative to that particular issue with all levels, with everybody trying to communicate to make sure we are working together, and mainly to keep a focus on those employees there that we want to make sure we help. So there's been a lot of activity taking place.